Good evening, everybody. I wanted to start off by just promoting patreon.com/Yannis Pappas Hour. I love doing comedy where I feel safe. When I feel safe, it's like riding a horse without a saddle. I'm bareback. I'm a Native American, and I'm just going through the plains of the Midwest, and there's no white man there. There's no Europeans there. I'm just throwing spears at buffalo, and it's a good time. Our last episode is noteworthy because it's titled, "The Things You Can't Say, We Say." So check it out, patreon.com/Yannis Pappas Hour. Now, let's get to our week in current events with your most trusted newsman who represents everyone, including foreign expatriates and the caliphate. We have ultra-processed food has been proven to cause cancer again with another study that was done. I'm sorry to all the people who love their Jersey Mikes. I love Jersey Mikes. I love a good Blimpie, although they got taken out by Subway, who had a pedophile for a spokesperson. What can you do? That happened. Even though Blimpie sandwiches were better, I love fake bologna. I love salami, but it kills you and it will give you cancer, much like sugar. And much like sugar, nobody will care because the thing Americans love more than their guns is their sandwich meat and their meat. So let me tell you, you can issue as many warnings as you want, okay, about how we need to stop consuming meat for climate. It ain't going to happen. I want a chicken parm. I don't want an eggplant parm. I'll never get used to an eggplant parm. I want a chicken parm, and I want it pounded flat. I don't want a thick chicken. I want it pounded flat. You pound that goddamn thing flat, and I want a lot of sauce. And that's just the deal. So that's another piece of news where they're trying to tell people to stop eating meat. And it's the United Nations, you know, our favorite referee in a WWE wrestling match trying to tell people what to do. It doesn't work. Their new study has found that young Gen Zers, the boys are going right and the girls are going left. So again, another reason for them not to have any fun. I mean, we used to have fun as kids, okay? There was a lot of finger action. There was a lot of 40s being drinking. There was a lot of blunts being smoked. There was a lot of parties to go to. Nobody knew anything about politics. If you asked me anything about politics when I was 15, I'd go, who's the president? I think there was times I didn't know who the president was. I didn't know who the mayor was. I just wanted to know, are there going to be girls at this party? And do you have the new Cypress Hill album? Now these kids are on the internet and they're getting all of their information from Alex Jones or Hassan Piker. And it's not good for boy-girl relations. They're just sitting at parties and they're arguing about fucking the Middle East. Can you imagine a worse party to go to than people talking about our long-term strategy in the Ukraine? That is not a fun party. So, yeah, we're going to continue to need immigrants because Americans aren't making people because they're not doing any finger play. Also, Sergio Chicon is here, our correspondent from the Lower East Side who knows nothing about what's going on in the world.
I do feel a little guilty about feeding my kid Lunchables, though.
Yeah, no.
Every time I buy, I'm just like, oh, I'm taking 2 days out of life.
Yeah, but it would be nice if they made salads like $2.99. So that would be nice. Also, what's going on in the world is tech has made these delivery robots, and the delivery robots are getting robbed. They're just getting robbed. There's a delivery robot coming to your house, and before it gets to your house, it gets stopped in the street, and they say, give me your wallet. And they're opening it up, and Santa's coming early for a lot of people who are seeing a defenseless robot just roll through the street with packages inside it. So not everything is a good idea. Just because you can do it, tech world, doesn't mean you should do it. We'll be talking all about it. Also, AOC. Also, Eric Adams, New York. It's in the news. She claims working class residents are fleeing New York City because it's too expensive. She doesn't want to mention how much the migrants cost, and I don't blame her. I don't blame her. If I was her, I wouldn't either, even though Eric Adams said it. He said we're going bankrupt, and that's why we got to cut these programs. But she's saying it's because working class Americans can't afford New York anymore. I don't know. New York's the only place you can get a dollar slice. Sergio doesn't seem to think there's a difference between a dollar slice and Lucali's, and it really makes me angry. This is the Yannis Pappas Hour, where news from a Greek, a Puerto Rican, and a half-Jew Italian mutt gives it to you straight. We're going deep, and by deep as always, I mean roll out the above ground kiddie pool and blow it up.
Yannis, Pappas. Yeah. When you all tucked up in the David Long, and the news online going on and on, what's right and wrong, and it's something up. Now here comes a great kid you know you can trust. From the true who's who to the news and cameras, to the fake politics and the propaganda. Yeah, this kid's screwed in, got a lot to say. Oh shit, it's about to be a long day. It's a long day.
So we're joined by my good friend Sergio Chicon, hilarious comedian, snake enthusiast. We went to Phoenix and he brought a snake wrangler with him because he wanted to take me to a Serpentarium, which I wanted to go to, but I kept rescheduling my therapies for those times that the Serpentarium was open because my mental health has to come first. So I'm very upset about it. I'm sorry we didn't get to go to a Serpentarium in Phoenix. Also, who hangs out with a friend whose idea of a good time is going to look at snakes?
Well, the Phoenix Herpetology Society offers alligators, crocodiles, Gila monsters, lizards, snakes, and all the above. But you know what? That's trivial now. I'm past it. Your therapy means more to me than walking by cages of snakes. And I'll show you, I got proof that it doesn't matter to me because look what I got for you, Pop. Ooh. I got you a gift.
What's this?
I move on.
Yo!
So, my man, you've been talking about a shirt that I own, and I thought I was saving it for Christmas, but I couldn't wait because you kept on talking about it.
Yo! So I did keep on talking about it.
I'm a big fan of nostalgia, as we all are.
Yo.
And in that plastic packaging is a legend of the WW, formerly known as the WWF, WWE.
Look how dope this shirt is.
Ooh, the Iron Sheik.
Yeah.
How dope the shirt is.
Oh, yeah, those graphics are tight.
It's so dope.
Yep.
So he was wearing it, and I couldn't stop talking about it because it was the dopest shirt I've ever seen.
Just hit my Venmo, Pa.
Yeah, that's the thing. I hate when friends are thoughtful because now I got to do something.
That's right. Christmas
now I got to
around.
be thoughtful. Now I got to get him a snake or another snake wrangling device. Yo, he was trying to go through TSA. He's trying to go through TSA through that thing, and they're like, "Is that a sword? What is that?" He's like, "Nah, it's how you hold the snake head when you handle snakes." He was bringing a snake holder.
It's a snake hook.
It's a snake hook.
Yeah.
He was bringing it across state lines.
Wait.
Yeah, so some of my my snakes are food motivated, or what they will call food aggressive. So you just got to give a little tap on the head.
Wait, you brought a
with
snake
the
on
hook.
a plane?
No,
No.
I brought a hook.
He brought the hook to handle the snakes.
Yeah,
Where-
but I
where
bought
you
at a
handling the
reptile
snake?
shop when we were in Rhode Island.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
you did get it in Rhode Island.
I got it
so
in
he
Rhode
was
Island.
he brought the snake hook because we were going to go see snakes, and he wanted to hold the snakes.
Yo, I heard a guy's bringing golf clubs on a trip, but
Yeah, never a snake
Never a
hook.
snake
Yeah,
hook.
no, that's Sergio. That's Sergio. He's got affinity for reptiles, and he constantly tells me that they're sweet. And then he made a video where he was showing one, and the snake bit him. It's one of my favorite videos. And he went, "Whoa!"
That's my fault. I didn't wash my hands after dealing with other snakes. It was a snake that feeds on other snakes. It's a Mexican black king snake. Mexican black king snake. Not very popular with the Republicans.
I love that he says that the snake is food aggressive. I would say that the way I would describe that is the snake's a snake. It's a snake. You're describing it like in dog terms. Like, is that dog food aggressive? Is that snake what snake isn't food aggressive?
I have quite a few.
Everything was in the paws. I don't look, if you want, snakes are good. They're good pets. If you don't want your kids to accidentally get eaten. Can I say that? Yo, how do you think the snakes look at your cat? And you have a docile cat. It's funny because he has all these snakes, and then he's got a cat that looks like Garfield. That just, one of those fat cats, a beautiful cat.
It's a Persian.
Yeah, Persian, like with all the hair that just kind of looks
Bred
at you.
for our amusement. The face is smashed in.
Oh, I love those cats.
Yeah, they quite often have sinus issues. They walk around like they had a hard night with cocaine. They're like, and they do that for our, sightseeing enjoyment. We like the sight of a cat with a smashed in face.
Yeah,
it's appalling what humans want from our animals.
It's really because we did that to bulldogs too.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's appalling.
Yeah, but it's a good thing. You have a passion, and snakes are part of the animal kingdom. So it's like, you can't blame them for being snakes. They make great house pets. You had a snake at one point. We've talked about it.
When I was a kid, I went to.
And you lost it in the walls.
8-foot boa constrictor.
How do you lose an 8-foot boa constrictor? How do you misplace that? How do you misplace an 8-foot boa constrictor?
He got out of his cage, his tank, and then we couldn't find him for a couple of days.
Now, how did you sleep during those days knowing that there was an 8-foot boa constrictor around?
I was sick, so it was
Because
more
it's not like, it's not like going like, oh, I can't find the gerbil, and then you just snooze off. It's like trying to sleep knowing there's a hungry 8-foot boa constrictor on the loose.
It was more my old man's
A boa
concern.
constrictor will never do anything. They're not capable of killing you.
They're not?
Not a boa constrictor. The thing is, that's a throwback,
Yeah.
right? A boa constrictor back in the late 80s, early 90s. You probably had in the glass.
Oh, yeah, with the heat lamp.
Yeah,
A little
glass,
hot
like
rock.
a 20-gallon, 40-gallon tank.
Yeah.
That's hilarious how we used to own snakes. I used to feed them live rats.
Me too.
Yeah, and when you went to the pet shop, they put it like in this thin-ass cardboard box, and quite often, I'll be on the bus, and that rat would chew out that box. Now I got a freaking jumbo rat in a plastic bag, just fucking swishing and swashing on the M12 bus. Everything is okay.
Now, you
And if the snake didn't eat the rat, now you have a pet rat.
yeah. You've started an organization where you want to get rid of the stigma of snakes. It's called Sergio. You can go to Sergio's Love for Snakes. Stop calling dishonest people snakes.com. Does that
That's
bother
wild.
you?
I got offended by that.
Yeah, do you get offended when someone calls someone a snake because they have bad qualities?
I don't get offended, but it's off-putting.
It's off-putting, right?
Yeah.
It's a little off-putting. You want to rehabilitate.
Like, I respond the same way you respond when I say dollar pizza's not that bad.
Yeah, I mean,
I get the
really-
same response. I kind of bite my bottom lip and look to the left.
It bothered me. He goes, it's cheese and sauce, Pa. I said, are you from New
Yeah,
York?
and you threw your phone across the
Yeah,
street.
I threw my phone. I threw it. Because we were going to get what's considered like the best pizza in Phoenix.
I'm just
and
saying, like,
it was good, but
it was good. But I also have the eating habits of a honey badger. So if the dollar slice is there, I'm eating it. And I'm not going to complain about it, is what I'm saying. Now, in comparison to real good pizza, I get the difference. But,
I am complaining
busy,
about
Walt.
it. I'm going to
Texas.
annoy everyone around me. And you know what? I just realized, like, yeah, a lot of people don't ask. I'm the type of guy, I'll just start talking about something and I'll realize nobody asked me. Me and Sergio were walking after boxing, where I was just a little late and
He
disrespectfully
was an
late.
hour and 10 minutes late.
It was disrespectful. There's nothing you can do.
That's like me watching half of the movie Titanic. Like, I could have watched half of it.
Yeah, he was like, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna take a nap. I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna walk the dog. Like, it was disrespectful today.
Yeah,
I
I
apologize.
mean, that's two sitcom,
And he gave me a present, so
2 sitcom episodes and a half.
yeah, it's brutal. But it was a good session today.
And he walked in, like, and he didn't want to apologize. He was like,
I did it. You keep
begrudgingly-
saying that. That's not true.
He was like
I,
looking down at his shoes and he said, "What we doing? Pot cracked his knuckles. No eye contact.
Yeah,
it was wild.
I think I just felt like really guilty about it. So it's like, when you're like,
Yeah,
you
just
know, you
gotta
did
move
something
on.
wrong.
Just move on.
You know,
Yeah,
you did
his
something
face
wrong.
was swollen like he slept on his belly.
I thought he was mad at me, so I was like avoiding him. It was kind of like what Jared did to us when he showed up late for a theater show twice.
Oh, no.
And they just avoided us. He didn't even come to the green room because he knows he fucked up. I knew I fucked up. So it's like, but I'm not mad at Jared. I mean, I've done fucked up things. That would be hypocritical. Jared, I fucking was an hour and a half late today. So it'd be hypocritical. So we're walking after the thing, and somehow I was about to just start going on a rant. And I caught myself and I said, wait a second, you didn't ask. There was at no point did Sergio say, tell me about what you think about this. And I was like, oh my God, this is what I do to people. This is what I do. I just launch into these long days that nobody asked for. I did it before this podcast started. Nobody asked.
Well, you're in the right
But-
business.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it though, man. You're passionate. It was informative. It's all good.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm still thinking about Lunchables and how I shouldn't be feeding that to my daughter.
well, look, dude, none of us knew this. This is all recent.
We
so,
kind of knew that. The cold cuts are bad for you.
yeah, we kind of knew that when they pull out like a chunk of meat wrapped in plastic and they put it on the meat slicer, you're going like, wait, how does the animal's not shaped like that? There's no animal shaped like a boar's head circle. Now they're going to sue me. That's the benefit of not having a huge podcast. You can say stuff like that and they go like, wait a second, boar's
It's
head
just a brick of ham,
with sodium and preservatives because like, dude, meat's not supposed to last you for a week and a half in the refrigerator.
And the person cutting it is always like someone I knew from high school
Yeah.
with a hairnet on. It's always a very weird experience. Like when I go to my local Key Food, there's always someone I knew from back in days. And they're not the most trustworthy person. cutting my meat.
Yeah, maybe that has something to do with them taking a meat slicing job. I don't think does any kid grow up? Do you think if we took away the social pressure to get rich and famous, which is what America's about, and I think that's what China loves using against us, and they're right. Because that's what they pitch us, the American dream, get rich and famous, that'll be your happiness. And then you see all these celebrities, just dying in their bathtubs, which is the preferable mode of death. They just love dying in bodies of water. They can't stop doing pills. They just don't seem happy. Do you think if we took away that pressure, there would be some kid who's like, I had as a dream about working at a meat slicer? That's what I love about Scandinavia and their level of socialism, because I think there's pros and cons to both. But in Scandinavia, if you work as a meat slicer or whatever, you still speak 4 languages because their education system is well funded and everyone's really educated. You still get all the same benefits as a millionaire or a rich person. So there's not that, you're not looked down upon for having a job, which I think is one of the things I like the most about what your purpose in life is to make this world socialist.
Now, I was talking more.
You love a good revolutionary. How many revolutionary books did you get ready to go out in the streets and hit people?
All I'm saying is that we do need another Malcolm X or Che or, or Huey P. Newton or Bobby Seale, someone that talks to me that I can relate to.
Yeah.
All these other politicians, I don't trust them. But when I read the books of the old school Black Panther revolutionaries, I'm like, damn, they're talking my beat. I feel like they're like integrated with like a street dialect, but also with a spiritual like awakening and guide. I'm like, I could kind of relate to that. But that might be a little outdated. And I think it is. When it's talking about we're doing a lunch program for the kids at the public school, and stuff like that. It might be a little outdated now. But when I was young and impressionable, that's a lot of the stuff I read. And I kind of hold on to the ideology.
Yeah, they did do a lot of good things too. The Black Panthers did do a lot of good things. Castro did a lot of good things. He also did some bad things.
He did some naughty things?
He did some naughty things as well.
Yeah.
So I guess you put it on a scale and you go, what? But in Scandinavia, that's a thing that was palpable that I felt when I was there. Is like, no, there's none of that hierarchy stuff. When you meet somebody, and it's interesting to experience a culture like that because then you get to sort of reflect on your own culture and sort of the sickness of that a little bit. And it is a sickness. I think the fame and richest thing in America is a sickness. I really do. Because it doesn't bring you happiness. It doesn't change much except for you get another pair of sneakers. It's just like...
Yeah, no, it thrives on consuming. Now, listen, I haven't been to many countries like that, but when I went to Cuba, I noticed right off the bat there was a certain piece that seemed to be with everyone. Granted, I spent a week there. So what the hell? Am I really able to internalize what the average Joe is going through? Probably not. But from my observation, there was very little internet throughout the island or whatever. And you had to go to designated parks to go on your phone. So everyone maintained eye contact as they passed by. They seemed rich with their culture. They seemed very proud. A lot of them did seem a little sad.
Well, I mean, they do...
Melancholy.
They do hop in the water and try to swim to Florida.
Not all of them.
A lot of them. But Angelo had the opposite reaction when he went to Cuba. You remember Angelo talking about he hated it.
Really?
He was like, you couldn't get anything. Like,
man, it was tough.
Angelo's a dirty capitalist.
Yeah, no, I found, and this is random shit. Like, you'll be driving up a road and there's a shack with meat, and like the most random shit. The most random place I ever visit. So on the strips of meat are flies. Then they got blow pops. Yeah. What do you want? Meat with flies on it or a blow pop? And then you go to a convenience store, and I say convenience store. Very
an
sarcastic.
Inconvenience store.
Yeah, it's an inconvenience store. And it's like women with net stockings that don't want to be there, and it's overstaffed. It's like 12 employees, and you can get dishwashing liquid or fucking olives.
Yeah, well, that's
wild.
That's one of the knocks on communism is like nobody has any motivation. I
think it's more because there's an embargo, so like the trade is fucked up and off. So it's like they ration shit off, so they're always delayed with stuff.
That's a big argument. People blame America. It could be the embargo.
Yeah, I don't. All
Could
I'm,
be.
but I do. I did find it interesting that I felt very safe walking out. I didn't see any homeless people. I'm just, this is a week visiting. I didn't see any homeless people.
Because the whole island's homeless.
What I thought was an abandoned building with actual buildings that people lived in.
Yeah.
There was a Russian presence in there.
No, you bring up a good point, and nothing is. It's not a comic book, because in Canada you don't see that either, and in Canada you eat the food there and you feel a lot better because they have a lot more regulation on their food. Like the shit that is sold here, like they just made cereal, American cereal, illegal in Japan.
Yeah, and it's wild because we grew up on that shit.
Well, that's the flaw, I think, to capitalism is just it's all about the profit motive without any social responsibility or any thought about society. And I think a big flaw about communism is they only think about society and they don't think about the individual. So when you elevate the group over the individual, eventually, inevitably, the individual's rights get encroached upon. It's just inevitable because it's binary thinking. It's like the only thing that matters is the group. And then in capitalism, it's like the only thing that matters is the individual. It's like we need some balance. And that's why the places that seem to function best, in my opinion, and also by the data, are places that have a nice balance of both. We are socialists. Like America is very socialist. We're mixed economy. Scandinavia, people always go, oh, they're socialists. They're capitalists. They're mixed. They just have more socialism than we do. But also, when a war breaks out, they look at us and they go, well, you defend us because all our money's going to schools. So it's a complicated world. And also, there's poverty here. So it's not, you can't look at Cuba and just go like, oh, they're all poor. It's like, yeah, we're a rich country. How come Flint doesn't have drinking water?
But the thing is about Cuba, no one's starving out there.
Nobody's starving.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Nobody's
and
starving.
everyone is educated, but, you could be a doctor and be working as a cashier.
Yeah, and you know that some of those doctors, some of them are going like, get me I want to.
Oh, man, they're looking across that water.
Yeah, they're going
and
like,
especially, that's got to be tough.
They're like, oh my God, Dua Lipa's Miami home looks really nice. And all she does is be hot and sing mediocre white. Like, I'm a doctor. I went to medical school. If I could get half of that, that would be
what's
very
interesting
nice.
about Cuba, and this is I think that's interesting about bare minimum and being reduced to just what you have immediately at your disposal, how could create great things because they have the best boxing team ever with very little equipment. So they rely heavily on footwork and the tenacity of their movement and not getting hit. So they don't have a lot of resources, but they know how to move. And they have the best amateur boxing team ever. And I think that has something to do with being prideful, but also being equipped with the bare minimum. They have to move their fucking feet.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And it's boxing. It's like soccer in a little bit in that every place has their style, right? It's like in soccer, different countries they play a style of soccer, and boxing it's kind of similar, right? The Cubans move their feet a lot. The Mexicans,
they're very defensively sound and very technical, which could be very boring to that average Western viewer.
Because the American boxers are aggressive offense, right?
American style boxing is a little flashier, believe it or not, but from state to state it does vary, which is interesting.
Yeah, isn't there the Philly? What do they call it? The Philly shell.
Yeah. Which evolved as a crab. It was like a crab walk. And Joe Frazier used to do it. It was a shell defense. And then as you elongated the angle, that became the Philly shell. But what's interesting, that's a highly defensive move, which requires great counterpunching ability, but also can leave you very vulnerable. The thing is, it's interesting, ironic, because a lot of Philly fighters are bangers. They're known for having the heart of, and a lot of the greats from Philly didn't fight like that. Like Bernard Hopkins,
Right.
He was very defensively sound. The guy fought till he was 102.
Yeah. Yeah, he fought. He was well into his 40s and still good. Yeah, Sergio and me were actually talking about that. It's whatever, there's always going to be a negative. There's always going to be a vulnerability, whatever. You can't have it all. Nobody can have it all. Like Paulie said from the great Uncle Paulie's Deli, the universe is balanced. The line from Vanilla Sky, you can't have the sweet without the sour. And like Yanni says, the check, there's always a check. You always got to pay either before or after, but the check comes. Everything in life. If you're short, it's usually you're not as strong. But if you're big, you're not as fast. It's like there's always a weakness. That is the condition of life. That's the condition of existence, is you can't have it all.
That's right.
Yeah, but you can have it all when you listen to this pod, because we give it to you all. We don't give you some, we give it to you all. And you can't have it all when it comes to food. So we got to do something in this country when it comes to food. We have to do something. People, the cancer rates and the heart disease rates are crazy. Do we regulate food more like Canada does, like all these other first world countries do? I know that would make libertarians upset. I don't know. We've talked about that. But we do eat too much meat. When's the last time you had a meal without meat? I'm already thinking about the meal we're going to have right after this. I'm not thinking about getting any vegetables. I mean, have you ever dreamed about broccoli? I mean, he was trying to lie to me and tell me sauteed spinach is something he craves. I'm like, I do it when I'm forced to eat it, and the only time I can eat spinach is if it's loaded with fucking cream. Cream of spinach.
Oh, cream spinach. Yeah, that's good.
Do you ever dream about vegetables?
I eat vegetables the way a dog eats hair. Now close your eyes and envision that.
Yeah.
I'm like, is this what it is? And I wish, and I think I'd like to be an ambassador of health, and I can't get into it. I mean, I kind of force feed myself.
When I eat vegetables, I feel like I'm forcing myself to eat the vegetables.
Yeah, but I do feel good.
It makes you feel incredible.
I feel incredible.
It feels incredible. It feels incredible. If you have a clean protein and a vegetable and like just a little potato, a little starch, if you eat the balanced meal that they tell you to eat, you feel great. I've never had a balanced meal.
Dude, sauteed spinach Italian style is delicious.
You mean with the little red pepper, a little olive oil?
Olive oil and garlic.
But is it delicious?
Yes.
It's like, it's like a bolognese, delicious?
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's like a slice of pizza, delicious?
No.
I think same thing with broccoli. I never enjoy broccoli. Unless that shit's fried with 4 pounds of cheese on it.
Yeah, or unless it's
bacon bits.
Yeah, or unless it's like drenched in sauce. Like I use it like bread. I'm like, ugh.
Even then, I'm eating it like.
Yeah, the worst part about it is the taste of broccoli.
Yeah,
you're like, I like to taste the oyster sauce from my beef and broccoli.
Yeah, I mean,
it's tough. It's tough. The way this planet was designed was tough. The best things for you are the least fun. And that goes for women as well.
I like the way you wiggle in your seat.
Yeah, I wiggle a little bit when I threw that out. So this is coming up. Now we know processed food also causes cancer. Added sugar causes cancer. Just like smoking, it's as bad for you. Now the United Nations is coming in and they're trying to say that the world has to reduce its meat consumption. That's like asking people to stop masturbating. How is it possible? Once you've developed a taste for meat, how is it? The only thing that's ever going to work is cloned meat. And is meat that bad for the environment? I'd like to live in a world where it's not. But supposedly the cow farts are bad, right? Because there's a lot of cows and they flatulate. And also you got to clear all this land for cows, right? Is that the problem? Is the cows?
Well, the factory farming is just awful.
It's brutal.
It's brutal.
I don't like to think about it. It's like it's like my iPhone. I don't want to think about how it's made. I just don't want to think about it.
PETA has a movie called Meet Your Meat. I defy you to watch that and order a cheeseburger deluxe. I don't think it could be done.
It's tough, right?
And also, we're running out of space. Like, we're going to other parts of the world, the rainforest for cow farms or whatever, and that's like reducing the oxygen intake. It's like a whole host of things.
The cows that are on farms are lucky. The ones some of them are just penned up their whole. It's brutal, dude. It's brutal.
It seems like the key to thriving and existing on this planet is balance in every way. Mentally, everything is balance. Happiness, living with the environment in a sustainable way. Everything seems. We got to just focus on balance. Everyone, I want you to hold your hands like this, and I want you to do lizard skin yoga pose. I don't know what they're called, but it's like the Eastern shit, there's a lot of good stuff there. It's more balanced because the no end to up stuff, that's Jesse's quote, that's no good.
No ends to ups.
There's no end to up.
Yeah,
well, I don't know how you just said it. What did you just say? No ends to ups?
Is that what you said?
I said no end to up, but I like the way you said it better.
No
you
ends to up.
You streetized it. No ends to ups.
Oh, I did.
Hold on, let me call my moms.
Pluralize
Yeah,
it.
you pluralized it. You pluralized it. So they want people to stop consuming meat, and because of all the cow farts, and it's just not going to fly.
These are the countries.
Now, these are the countries that eat the most meat. We dominate. Australia, dude, for a small little country. The funny thing about Australia, too, is like most of that country is just outback. It's like there's like...
Oh, I thought you meant Outback Steakhouse.
Yeah, that's why I saw the emblem immediately.
Yeah, dog, I mean, you know, it's like Iceland. There's like... Australia's like Iceland in the sense that like what's inhabited... Not Iceland, Greenland. It's like what's inhabited is like all down on the bottom, and the rest is just outback. There's just wild dingoes out there. I don't know what's out there. Snakes and tarantulas. You'd probably be in it.
I want to visit. The fact that it takes 20 days to get there is concerning.
It's concerning.
But the wildlife is abundant. They have all sorts of amazing animals out there.
Yeah, look, if I'm going to spend, I don't know, if I'm going to spend like 24 hours on a plane, I don't want to land and just see white dudes who go like, how you did it? I'm like, I traveled 20. I could have just like went outside. You know what I mean? If I go 20 hours, I want to go to Japan. I want to go to South Korea. I want to go to, that's it. I want to go to Japan or South Korea, and that's it. I don't want to go anywhere else.
Came back from Japan, and he said that it's Dino. He's a comic. He said that it's wild, that it's super clean and it's sophisticated in its technology, and
yeah.
And people were gawking at him because they see nothing like it.
Yeah.
He's also a strange looking dude, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, he's got an interesting face.
Well, yeah, he's Jewish and black and might be a little bit of Puerto Rican.
Wow, so his time right now, he's very confused on who's his friends.
I mean,
it's a hard time to be mixed with Chosen right now. I think Eric Andre is just like, what do I do? But wouldn't it be nice to go to a country that if you fall in love with a woman and she cooks the meal wrong and you just say you dishonor her family, she walks out a window? I mean, that's nice. There's something nice about that culture, you know, where they make a mistake and they feel so shamed that they just walk out. She just goes, I'm sorry. And then you don't have to get a divorce. She just falls out of a window because she put shame on you and her family. That's a cultural nice thing. That's nice. You know, they make a mistake. That's why the cars are so good. Because if they make a mistake on the line there on a Lexus, you know, they go, everyone looks at them and goes, you know what you got to do. You didn't screw that part in, right? You know what it is. They probably have in all the car factories in Japan, like a plank on like the 8th floor where dudes just walk out and I dishonored the company and they just walk. It'd be nice. You know, Asian women, they attend to your needs a little bit. They're a little more, you know, the bowing. It's very nice. We should go back in and conquer them.
Yo!
I'm kidding. No, they're kidding. They're our allies. If they can become our allies, everyone in the world can work it out. Because we dropped nukes on them, and now they love baseball, and they're like our allies. So it's like, figure it out. Just figure it all out. Like, girls and boys got to figure it out. I don't know what's going on with this new study that they did. But Serge, I don't know what's going on. When I was this age, I wasn't interested in what a woman's political opinions were. And
how young are we talking about? Where's this?
This was a survey done by Teen Vogue. So this is the best. This is like the Nielsen rating. It's accurate. This is like a political poll. This is Teen Vogue. You know, they send their best researchers out there. So this could not even be true. But they did a survey. Oh, they didn't even call it a study because what do? They just asked 10 people in a magazine.
Yeah, it's a few kids.
So who knows if it's true? But we're going to pretend like it is true. Survey found that young women, I mean, who does publish true things anymore? It'll be funny if the only place that does is Teen Vogue. It's like they become like the reliable source. Teen Vogue, which I can't even believe is still a thing.
Yeah, I haven't heard about that shit in years. I mean, it's just digital now, right? They're not pressing up hard copies of any of this stuff.
I don't know, because if you see a Teen Vogue magazine in my premises,
I would be concerned.
It's a concerning thing.
Yeah,
it's concerning. But so the survey was actually not conducted by Teen Vogue. So I want to do an editorial retraction in real time because this is the only show where you get the news while we learn the news in real time. It was conducted by Change Research and shared. They went to Teen Vogue first. They didn't go to the New Republic. They didn't go to the New Yorker. They didn't go to the Times. They didn't go to the Post. They didn't go to the Boston Globe. They went to Teen Vogue, where news is broken. And they found overall that young women, transgender people, and non-binary people trend more politically left than young men, which is boring. How great would it be to meet a trans woman who's like, we got to get rid of all these goddamn Mexicans? That would be fun. Who would you rather have at a party? I would love to have a hard, MAGA, right trans woman like Caitlyn Jenner talking about how we got to curb immigration and we need smaller government. That's what I want. I want a conversation with her. I don't want to look at a trans woman and know exactly what's going to come out of her mouth because I've judged her by her haircut. Because as I've said, you can't judge a book by its cover, but you can definitely judge a conversation by its haircut. For sure.
I don't know why I picture this person you're talking about that you're making up, smoking but blowing the smoke out of a window, but doesn't touch any meat. It's all vegan. That person.
Yeah, it's vegan, but smokes.
Yeah, chain smoker, packs the cigarettes.
Yeah, and just wants to talk to you about all the good stuff Trump accomplished. Yeah. That would be fun. Mix it up a little bit. Don't be so predictable. So that's obvious. And then on the other hand, this is the part that's surprising. Young men were more likely to lean right. 13% of men surveyed identified themselves as libertarian. This is growing. Libertarian movements, they're going to get their shot now in Argentina. Let's see what happens. So the libertarians, also, libertarians are real fun. They are fun because when you ask them if they're right, they go, we're not right. They hate to be characterized as right. They hate to be characterized as left.
What is a libertarian? They just self-govern themselves.
Well, if you ask me, they're anarchists.
They're anarchists, right?
If you ask me. No, or if you ask me, they got an answer for everything. They have an excuse and a rationalization and an answer for everything, and they always talk about how pure libertarianism has never been tried. It's almost like talking to a communist, for me. Because a communist will always say, it's the embargo. It's got nothing to do with the flaws, the intrinsic and inherent flaws of communism. It's the embargo.
Did I tell you about the first time I met an anarchist? I was at Philly Freedom Summer. It was 2000. The year it was 2000. I was broken. My heart was broken from this girl who lived 5 blocks away from me. She broke up with me, and I was going through it. You know those slow motion breakups?
Yeah.
Slow motion. You go to sleep thinking about it. You wake up thinking about it, and you may stab her clothes with a dull butter knife. You may peek into her window riding your mountain bike.
Yeah, borderline stalker, yeah.
Yeah, hanging it behind a bush, and the security says, get out of here. So I was just fixing the chain on my bike. Yeah. I was infatuated with her, and then Philly Freedom Summer comes upon, it was a political organization by the name of Refuse and Resist. And just imagine, I'm the only Puerto Rican there. It's either black or white. The white people have dreadlocks. The women don't shave their underarms. They got hairy blonde hair. All the dudes look like Most Def. They're backpackers.
I can smell it.
You can
I can smell what you're describing. Yeah, I can smell it.
I mean, it smells like Pabst Blue Ribbon, a cigarette smoke, and falafels. And there's poetry, and wrinkled paper, right? There's backpacks that are influenced by military, design.
Yeah.
Heavy with the baggy jeans. We're talking about
Probably
Jenko.
a few pair of sandals out there.
Oh, yeah.
Flip-flops with Jenko jeans. Jenko style, army style jeans, right?
There's a drum circle.
There's a drum circle. There's a lot of, what's that game? With the
sack.
Hacky sack is abundant.
Yeah.
So I went to Philly, and I was coming out of this breakup. I was heartbroken. I want to find myself. Like, I was so heartbroken. Like, anything would have been better. Kissing a dude would have been better. Just some affection in my life, because this girl broke ice cold. She broke me. You know when you're like, oh my God, I really miss you. I really miss you. Can we please get fucking answer, motherfucker?
Yeah.
Like that type.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, wow, the closest thing's a bipolar.
Yeah.
So, but it's a
Well,
learning
it's because
experience.
she's banging another dude.
Oh,
she's
God.
banging another dude, and she's moved on, and you
And
haven't.
she was mean,
Yeah.
dog. She was a Virgo. I don't know why I care to share that, but she was a Virgo. She would say things like, yeah, you're just really distraught. And she would say things like that, and I could hear her biting her like thumbnail. Well, you're saying distraught. Anyway, fast forward to Freedom Summer. We stood at someone's house in Philly in the corner of like Germantown, predominantly black people, and they welcomed us with open arms. We're painting, picket signs and all this shit.
The things the guy will do for some poos.
Nah, man, I was all about free Momia, who allegedly killed a cop.
Right.
In Philly.
Momia, what's his name?
Momia Bull Jamal.
Yeah.
I was all about, pro-abortion rights. We're walking like all this shit, right? And I was in it. There's a picture of me in a Philadelphia Tribune, fucking running shirtless with a bandana on my face. Wild stuff. I had a great head of hair, was blowing in the wind. Yeah, dog. So anyway, fast forward, we're at the Union Square in Philly, and it's the GOP, the convention for the Republicans, right? And your dogs. We're marching, we're chanting, we're calling, politicians out and shit. And dogs, these anarchists creeped up behind us, and they were all in black, and they look like naughty white boys.
Yeah, naughty
Best way
white
I can
boys.
describe it. They all look like Eminem, but dressed in black.
Right.
And they had some liquid with them, and they were throwing that shit. I was like, what the fuck? They were too close to us. So now I'm like, kind of like in this situation where I was like, yo, what are you guys involved in? But it just looked like maybe bottles of water, but they could have been cocktail bottles for all I knew.
Right.
Anyway, they were disruptive.
They were disruptive.
And
they were radical.
Yeah, they fucking ignited the interest of cops on horses. And
They ignited what?
The interest of cops on horses. So the cops on horses didn't like what they were doing.
Wait, I don't understand. They ignite. Oh, they
ignited the interest of cops. So they were fucking
I
misbehaving.
got you. I thought they were igniting something.
No,
Okay.
no, they were
That's just Sergio for the cops got it.
Yeah, I got it. You're not. It's right what you're saying. I just
but ignite sounds like fire. I get.
I got lost.
Yeah.
So the cops got upset.
They were running towards us with batons, hitting people on the head, and now I decided that it'd be because I felt very alone in the situation. So I offer anarchist some water. He was like, no. He throws the water bottle. So I hold the hands of two strangers. And they're like, men. I'm holding male hands. And I remember it was like, we created a human chain, right? And I felt so gay, but I also felt so secure.
Yeah, because you were holding someone else's hand.
I was holding someone. We created a fence. I winced at the cops. Yo,
you were just going to take the hit from the cops?
I just wanted to be, I felt too alone.
Yeah,
so
you need to be with people.
So I grabbed the sweaty palm of some white kid named Kyle and some other kid named Fish Skull, because he didn't want to give his real name. Everyone was named Finn, Xanax, everyone had a fucking bizarre name.
Yeah.
I was dirty.
Yeah.
So we just got, and the cops ran right by us. But I don't know what we thought we were going to do with my 20-year-old arms. We created a human chain, and they ran past us. And then a couple of people got naked and jumped in a fountain, and it was...
I would have loved to have
It was
dated
quite
an
an experience.
anarchist. That's interesting. She was an anarchist, she was just for no government, everything.
Well, I don't know. They don't speak to you much.
Yeah,
So I was part of a group called Refuse and Resist.
Yeah.
And the anarchists were a separate group, and they all wore black.
So how about her? What was she?
When you say her...
The girl.
No, the ex-girlfriend was an ex-girlfriend from the hood who I was trying to get away from.
Oh,
It's
this
two
was just
separate
during
stories.
that time.
Yeah, during that time.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were trying to find yourself.
I was trying to find
You were
myself.
lost.
Yo, I might have come back to Third Street,
Yeah.
my old Lower East Side neighborhood, with a beret looking like Che Guevara. Knowing not a lick of Spanish.
Dude, you want to get a guy to believe your cause, catch him in a heartbreak, because he just needs friends and someone to listen to.
Yo, dogs.
I would join ISIS when I was heartbroken.
That's what I'm saying. I was so heartbroken. I was ready to join the Cuban army, dog.
Yeah.
If there was a girl or someone who was dropping that game on me, I would have picked up a stupid little rifle with my flip-flops and Carcanine jeans.
Yeah.
And fought for...
You would have fought for the liberation of people who aren't your people.
Right. Yeah. And I remember I met this headhunter at Petland Discounts, and I used to clean her iguana tank.
Which was your office for a little while.
Yeah. I would clean the iguana tank weekly, and I came by with my beret and Che Guevara shirt, and she was like, "What are you wearing?" And I was like, I just feel like we all need to be treated. She laughed at me, and then walked to the other room. But
that was your revolutionary days.
Yeah,
you were a revolutionary. So yeah, I mean, I'm joking. Libertarians, you could say they're not anarchists, right? They believe in very limited government, very little regulation, protect people's property. It sounds all very nice on paper. That's why I've made the joke that I'm a libertarian. I'm also a communist because they sound great. I mean, it sounds ideal. Like everyone respects everyone's property. Everything's perfect. Sounds great. Same with communism. To each his own according to his need. I love it. Everyone lives in peace. No state. I love it. But how does it work in reality with the nature of man and how corrupt?
Well, with capitalism, it doesn't really work. There's a lot of negative byproducts to it.
Yeah, there's a lot of negative byproducts, but
amount.
there's a lot of positive, but there's also a lot of negative. But the thing about capitalism, we joked about this, is it's like, it's sort of owning it. Going, people are selfish. People are self-interested. They should be able to.
Or are we conditioned to be that way?
It's a good question. It's a good question.
What
What do you think, Jess?
I don't know.
Oh, we're that way.
We're that way.
We're that way.
If you look at history, you're going to say it's a little more of that evidence that we
Yeah.
are. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't know. These are good questions. These are good questions for the people to answer in the comments for engagement. And it,
Do
me
you think
asking,
if we led a more spiritual life that like is more tangible, of sharing
Yes.
and equal,
Yes.
rights and everything?
Yeah, but
Yes.
somebody's got to do the shit work.
yeah, somebody's always got to do the shit work, and you got to be okay to do the shit work. And that's why I like Scandinavia, because people are more okay to do the shit work because you don't look down at a garbage man the way, and garbage men make great money here. So a garbage man's a bad example. You don't look down on anyone. It's a true thing that I experienced. It's a culture. I experienced it. It's interesting. They don't ask what you do. You know how every conversation here starts with like, so what do you do? What's your job? Over there, it's like nobody even asks that. And it's like everyone's got great benefits. Everyone's really educated. And everyone feels like they have a job. But Sweden, well, at least up until recently, was a homogeneous society. It was 5 million people, 7 million people. Very easy to control. It's very easy to one culture, small amount of people, specific portion of land, lots of room. They got a massive country that's not densely populated. So it's very easy to pull that shit off, especially when you have NATO, or if not NATO, are they in NATO, Sweden? Can't remember. But you have the EU, you got allies protecting you and stuff like that, looking out for your interests. These things are easy to pull off. So it's hard. There's never going to be a utopia. But to answer your question, and then we'll get back, is I think I found from my experience, I don't know if I call it spirituality. I think there's an element of that. Yes, you could say that. I think I don't even want to say mental health because it's like a combination of spirituality and mental health. I think people need to get more in touch with their subconscious. So I think it's also psychological mostly. People need to understand who they are, what they do. Now, a lot of smart people have said that in different ways, right? Like Socrates said, the unexamined life is not worth living. I think that's essentially what he meant. It's like, who are you? Why are you doing what you do? Why are you not? You have to bring the subconscious motivations to the conscious because the subconscious can be very destructive and people aren't aware why they do what they do. So they don't want to look in. So I do think the last stage of evolution, if we were to make it and not off ourselves, which there's a fucking real possibility of, is in that inward look. I think the next stage of evolution is not another thumb. It's not, it's inward look. Who am I? Why do I do what I do? Why do I prefer these certain things? Why do I have these habits? Why am I irresponsible here? There's always a subconscious reason. So, and geniuses figured that out. It's like when you dream, that's your subconscious going. It's like, oh, it has a meaning. There's like things you're wrestling with, and you could say your spirit or your being or whatever. And I also believe we're more spiritual. We're not our brain. That I've realized. From having an anxiety disorder, I've realized that we're not our brain. Our brain, like our heart, is an organ that guides us and does stuff sometimes subconsciously because it makes up connections to protect you that are just, like I said, subconscious. So they're not thought out. And sometimes those can cross, the wires can cross, and it can be bad stuff. So I think that's what would solve the problem. Everyone's always yelling at groups. Everyone's always trying to get moral high ground. Everyone's always making everything into a cartoon. These are the good guys, these are the bad guys. But it's like, nobody's doing this.
Yeah, dog.
Nobody's going, look at the man in the mirror.
Who is that? Michael Jackson?
Michael Jackson.
Yo, it's the little
Who
things,
raped
man.
children?
I was trying to tell you when we left the hotel the other day, I was like, yo, turn off that light switch. Conserve energy. It's the little things.
It's the little
details.
things. I like this one. There are no big things. There's just little things. big things are an accumulation of little things.
Yeah, we're gonna make
This is a Buddhist podcast.
Yes, there's self-evolution, and then we're gonna add some gangster to it. Every time you say something like a Buddhist quote, I'm like that. Yes, preach.
Like the Israelites. That's why I love the Israelites. I love that dude in the Israelites.
Wait,
who
the Israelites?
Yeah, I love the guy who goes, say it. Tell him. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, Israelites used to scare me as a kid. They used to yell in front of Macy's.
They're the best. They're my favorite.
Yo, they still exist?
I hope so.
Oh, yeah. They're still
I don't
around.
want to get rid of them.
Where did they get their garments?
Dude, they get there. Yo, is there an Israelite store?
Yeah, because those, I mean, they had shields.
Yo, they have shields. They look like medieval knights. Yeah, I mean, their outfits are wild.
Yeah, they were very. Their military state of being reminded me of like 5% Nation. You ever familiar with them? Like it was like a branch off Muslims, like the Nation of Islam.
Yes,
but it was like
5%ers.
Yeah, but I don't quite understand the Israelites. I don't.
The
that's
Israelites
a whole other episode.
They're the real Jews, right? Because the Bible is like
they have such foul mouths.
Yeah, if you think about it, Christianity is.
We need to get a clip of an Israelite screaming.
Oh, I'd love to get an Israelite here. I would love to get an Israelite.
Them here?
Oh, got to interview an Israelite. They have a lot of wild ideas. One thing is white guy's evil. I
don't want to get caught up by
the white guy's evil, and his light skin is because of leprosy.
You're the white devil.
Yeah, white devil, and we have leprosy. So all the white people have leprosy, and the reason why you could tell that they're evil is the white. They don't have any melanin, which makes them evil, and they're the real Jews. They're the actual Jews. So essentially, they're the Jews, like black. There's some tribe. Some African tribe that was the original Jews, and everything else is made up history by the white devil to steal that. And I don't know what the end game of that is, but they're the Jews, because the Jews, the Bible. So the interesting thing is Christianity is based on the Old Testament, which is the Torah, essentially, right? Am I getting that right?
Correct.
Yeah. So Judaism, it was like the original religion, right? And then also Islam is like a lot of it is from the Bible, right? So they believe in Jesus as a prophet. They don't think he was the son of God. I don't think the Jews don't either, but he was a prophet, and they believe in all the Jewish prophets. So it's ironic that there's this problem between the Jews and the Muslims because they're very much alike. They don't eat pork because of the religion.
Hey, kind of like Bloods and Crips.
Very similar.
Alike.
Yeah, they're very much alike. Dude, they're much more alike than Christians. Christians have less in common with Jews and Muslims than Jews and Muslims do with their religion. And a lot of ways their culture, because the original Jews were Sephardic and Semites, and they lived right there. They were all in the same area. And then the Muslim conquest happened. There was a little fighting. But, they lived in the same area, and they fought a little bit and shit like that. But they're more familiar with each other. Then the Christians was a new thing. And Jesus. It was all about Jesus and the Virgin Mary, baby. Jesus and the Virgin Mary made it different. So that's what that came in, and
so that's gonna be my job. I'm gonna find you an Israelite or a guy who was
Please
down
do.
with Israelites.
Please do. I would love that. I would absolutely love that. Now we got to talk about these delivery robots, because they're funny videos. So I don't know which company. I haven't got past the videos, so I didn't do any research on this because the videos are fun. But we're gonna play you a little bit here of what's going on.
How are they dispersed? A truck gets them out?
We're gonna learn it now.
Okay, cool.
As Rachel Minatoff joins us live in Hollywood.
The videos are fun.
These
Watching a
delivery
robot get
disruptions
jacked.
are really impacting businesses who use them. Rachel.
Pedro and B, you've probably seen the robots scooting along the sidewalks here in Hollywood and elsewhere around the city. They're becoming more and more popular for food delivery post-COVID.
Why?
The problem is some people seem to be taking advantage of the new technology.
Who wouldn't?
Viral TikTok videos appear to show people tampering with these autonomous delivery drivers. In this case, stealing the contents inside, tossing them over, and even kicking the robot en route to deliver food. Vandals targeting the new tech, which businesses like Blue Jam in Hollywood rely on.
I think it was a great idea for COVID. Everything was just like hands-free. You don't have to deal with anybody. Just if something shows up at your door.
It's not a good idea in any way. All right, turn it off.
Steve Avila is the...
Here's the thing. They're creating these robots to deliver your food and deliver packages. Amazon's got some plan. They got drones, all this shit. Somebody has to stop the tech industry. They have to be stopped. It's like you have to go, you know what? Just because you can doesn't mean you should. It's very similar to a lot of other things. Like, just because I can hit you doesn't mean I should. Someone needs to say to the tech industry, we need some fucking jobs. Some people need fucking jobs. Can delivery people, I want my delivery being delivered by a guy who fucking smirks at me because he doesn't speak English. That's what I want. I want it being handed to me by a guy who doesn't speak my language. We have a nice nod. It's a human interaction. I know my meal's gotten there. It's gotten the human care that it deserves to get there. I don't need some goddamn robot who goes 2 miles an hour going down a street to give me my food. What if I have steps? What if my front door has steps? I don't even understand this. So this is Amazon doing? How Amazon deploys collaborative robots? Stop it! Stop! We don't need fucking robots delivering shit.
I mean, I feel like it promotes obesity. Now people, customers are gonna be intrigued by it. So let's order food so the robot comes in, and they don't want to step out the crib. Now you got people who maybe are delivery people doing a more sedative job, right? That, or not working at all. I just feel like
absolutely
it's super irresponsible.
Yeah, it's another way for us not to move, which we have to move.
The only robot I like is my shark. That shit cleans a mad dog hair.
Oh yeah, that thing that just rolls around on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like,
my little vacuum cleaner.
People need to move, man. People need to do stuff. This is something you just don't need. They're just doing it because they're like the possibilities.
What's next?
there.
A fucking a robot that shoves food in your mouth. You don't move, and
eventually that's what's going to be.
It's like,
eventually, you're just going to lay on the couch, and there'll be an Amazon drone that flies into your house,
catapults food
that
in your
has
mouth.
arms, and will be able to just feed you like this, so you don't have to move at all. It's just ridiculous. How come they didn't? This is one of those things where someone had an idea, and it was all theory. This is actually a perfect example that you can use, and it's analogous to all things, right? Politics, justice, everything, whatever you want to say. This is like an idea that someone had. They're like, oh, this is going to be great. Again, they don't have to pay people. They always love that part. More profit. They always love that part. And it's going to be great. And let's do it because we can do it. It'll be so cool. But nobody thought about these robots just roaming the street. They just thought people were just not going to interact with the robot or steal stuff. Here's a guy just stealing everything in the robot. So now what they're going to do is they're going to keep pushing this stupid plan, and they're going to probably put guns on the robot. So then the robots are going to shoot people, and they're going to end up hitting a baby carriage because it's a robot, and then we're going to have that problem. There's going to be fucking drive-by robot shootings. Right? Because
it's pretty easy to get into as well.
Or they're going to hire 4 armed guards to walk, and then you're like, why don't we just go back to one delivery guy?
They should make them shock. Like they give out a little shock, so if you touch them, you get zapped.
Or it'd be cool if they go medieval style and have spikes on them.
Yeah. Spikes on them. Put spikes.
Like a sword comes out and slices off your feet.
Put barbed wire over it. Or just rub shit all over it. Nobody wants to touch shit. Just rub shit all on the outside, and then nobody will touch it. This is just one of those things you're going, why? Why are we doing it? Why? There's no reason to do it. Okay, just so you know, the Koch brothers are supporting Nikki Haley. They're not behind Trump. That's the thing. The Koch brothers are the Soros of the left, of the right, right? And they're supporting Nikki Haley. I got nothing to say about that except Nikki Haley seems to be the preferred candidate, right? She's starting to be like, you're starting to see a lot of R's kind of go like, this is the viable alternative. For people who want to live in a post-Trump world, it's Nikki Haley. But again, I think subconsciously, we all kind of want to go back to a Trump world. We miss the chaos. We miss hanging on his every word.
Just want to hear what he has to say.
We just want to hear what he has to say, what he's going to do. We miss the star. People, even the people on the left, they go, he's good for business. He's good for our articles. He gets the whole, we're in a gossip and Trump economy. Like, he's responsible for the ratings of so many things.
It is crazy how there's a turnaround of like black and Latinos who are really fucking with Trump
especially
now.
blacks.
Yo, and listen, in the music I listened to back in the days, they dropped Trump's name a lot.
They loved him.
They'd be like, yo, moving around the streets like Black Trump,
Yeah.
And, you got lumps like Trump, they always held him in high regards as a moneymaker, a businessman that stamped his name on everything. They turned people off, but now it's kind of going back. It's fucking odd.
Well, I think because Biden, they just, I don't know what the results
Well,
they
he's
see.
non-existent, right?
Yeah, I don't know if they're seeing any results where Trump was like promising results and
Trump was funny when he's trying to get the black vote. He's like, what do you got to lose, black people?
What do you got to
What do you got
lose?
to lose? Roll the dice.
You voted with them all this time. You got nothing. What do you got to lose? What do you got to lose? I mean, so yeah, blacks for Trump are getting bigger, and a lot of blacks are. Biden is in trouble. That was another article that came out this week that black support for Trump is growing, and Biden is in trouble with the black vote. So yeah, I mean, this is the Washington Post. So Trump hits new poll highs with black and Hispanic voters. So there you have it. I think it's a little bit of that thing of people going,
Trump is the kind
don't tell anyone I told you, but just make it all go away. If anyone asks, it wasn't me who said it, but yeah, that'll sound great. Sergio Chicon, the great Sergio Chicon, was with us today. This was a very fun episode. That is also another dope shirt that I noticed while we were filming this. I don't know where you get your shirts, but that is a dope Roberto Clemente shirt. The great Roberto Clemente, the great Pittsburgh Pirate who tragically died in back then, like athletes just died all the time in plane crashes, and so did artists.
Yeah, I feel like he died in the same style plane that La Bamba died.
La Bamba and
what was his name? Richie Valentine?
Richie Valentine, La Bamba, and also Thurman Munson.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. He was a Yankee catcher, great Yankee catcher, died. People just died on planes.
I was once on a small plane like that, and I was like, what a stupid way to die, because I'm just doing a stupid show in the Bahamas.
I gotta go to Springfield, Missouri. I gotta take a connecting. I don't want to die going to Spring. If I'm gonna die, I want to die going to Phoenix. I love Phoenix. Phoenix is popping.
Oh yeah, you like it?
Phoenix is thriving.
Dude, it's thriving.
Stimulating.
It's popping, but there's no water. They have no water. That's the thing.
We met a guy with an 8-pack and and super white teeth and gelled hair, and he bought us a steak, and he owned like 4 clubs, and he was hospitable and
really
knew Yannis's comedy, and he was just a great host. Like, I mean, shit.
Everyone's
we performed
got
in your
money out
city,
there.
and you buy us a fucking steak, and he's like we offered to pay, and he like sniffed out loud. He said, "Don't insult me." Like, I love that treatment.
It was great. It was great. Everyone seems to have money there. It's thriving. It's thriving. It's booming. It's a huge boom, but they have no water, and the Colorado River is like running out of water.
And it's 120 in the summer.
120 in the summer. But like Las Vegas, Los Angeles, and Phoenix just don't have water. So it's like an issue. But it's not an issue you got to deal with
alcohol
today.
Anyway.
Yeah, everyone's drinking alcohol anyway, so it's not a big deal. Sergio, you want people to know anything
all
about
the updated shows are on my website, and shoot me a note. I love getting notes from you. So anything.
Yeah, he likes a note in the mailbox. Write it and put it in. He likes a note. When's the last time you heard someone call something on the internet a note?
I'm a throwback. I still mail out my
I saw that video.
To Con Edison.
Yeah. You're a boomer.
To fuck with them a little bit. To make them work a little harder because they're fucking... They're dictators.
Yeah, they are.
They're fucking
really
dirtbags.
They dictate what your price is, and you have no idea why.
I have no idea why it just from 320 to 500, and like you can't question it.
It probably has something to do with a lot of the snake tanks.
Yes, they all have heating devices that are not on thermometers. So
go follow Sergio Chicon, the great comedian, the great boxer, the great boxing instructor, the great snake animal enthusiast, the great dad. My good friend, follow him on Instagram. Check out.
Shoot me a note.
Shoot him a note.
Shoot me a note.
Shoot the guy a note.
I like that. I'll leave you on red, but I just need a little power in my life. That feeling of power.
We'll see you next time.
Peace.
Guys, get tickets to see me on the road at YannisPappasComedy.com. I'm in Spokane right now through Saturday, then Louisville, December 15th and 16th. Portland, January 11th at Revolution Hall. The Vogue Theater in Vancouver, January 12th. Cobb's, San Francisco, February 9th and 10th. Atlanta, February 15th through the 17th. A lot of shows, a lot of tickets. San Diego, February 23rd and 24th. The Vic Theater in Chicago. I'll probably end up shooting my special there. So the Vic Theater in Chicago, March 8th. The Royal Theater in Toronto, March 23rd. Cleveland, March 29th through 30th. Tulsa, April 5th through 6th. Kansas City, April 11th through the 13th. Guys, want to give a shout out, as always, to exclusiveautoshipping.com. If you're moving your car out of state, or if you bought your car out of state, Just use exclusiveautoshipping.com. Student and military discount supply. They're the guys. Chris Minetti. You know Chris Minetti, right? You're going to cash your business check. Where are you going to go? You're going to go to my guy, Chris Minetti, 215-750-3730. Call him at that number. There's no other way to meet him. And that is the number of a payphone that's still up in Philly. ForTheFree.art. It's music in Hawaii, guys. Check it out. DisplayPros.net. I don't know if it's just on a credit card. DisplayPros.net. They will build your custom trade show booth. They'll do everything. Retail fixtures, promotional items. You got it. Go to DisplayPros.net. Tell them I sent you. You get 10% off your first order. Then, of course, we got MAinsuranceservices.com. You could call it Ma if you want. Okay? You can call it the same way Matthew Albani calls for dinner, which is MaInsuranceServices.com. In St. Petersburg, Florida area, we got a insurance company, MaInsuranceServices.com. You can also call them at 813-260-0338. They got all types of insurance policies for your needs. Then we got CapRatech, of course.
New copy.
Do you keep loading money into your FanDuel or DraftKings account week after week? Do you got your local bookie knocking on your door every day looking for the money? Stop losing money betting on sports and start investing. I like that. I love this. Seeing your bets is an investment. It's not gambling, it's an investment.
That's right.
CapRatech has all the sports betting tools and content you need to help you win, okay? We use machinery. They use machinery. And because I'm a part of the team. We use machine learning AI to simulate game results and give you the best betting advice available. All 100% free, no BS. Go to CapRatech.com or download the CapRatech app in the App Store or Google Play Store and start winning. CapRatech, the only sports betting advice Sean Parry allowed a 14 users to smoke their bookies, and that's fucking true. Rebels Raider, he's going to send us stuff. We got to give him the address. This stuff looks great, dude. I want a valise. I want this stuff to show you how dope it is. 100% real deal tactical gear that's used for your everyday outdoor activities, even just if you're traveling, right? It's great. I love what this guy said. He's going to buy a Lamborghini with all the profits so he can set it on fire to prove how pointless this all truly is. I love this guy, and his products are dope. You know, a guy like this who's like not marketing has got the dope products. So go check out this website right here, rebels-raiders.com, and get yourself these bags or whatever they have up there. It's amazing stuff. It's great for hiking, trail running, training, outdoor activities. These are backpacks and packs for everyday carry. So check them out. These are high-end tactical backpacks, and as always, that's where the quality comes. So check them out, rebels-raiders.com.